Board of Selectmen's meeting for Monday, June 7th. This time we will have public comment. Time is limited to 3 minutes, and please state your name and address. Thank you.
Regina Barnes, 95 Presidential Circle, Mr. Chairman. My public comments in regards to recent articles in the newspaper regarding police at our beach. Something that Selectman Woolsey and myself have been bringing up several times over the past several years. Who is going to cover the outside agency costs? As an individual selectman, I have been asking this throughout my tenure, and all I got from this board over the years is the mums, no action. The board has failed to address the state operations for all the years I have been elected. Bean, Woolsey, and Barnes all brought it up. No action by any of the three chairmen, Griffin, Bridle, and Waddell. As far as Mr. Nine, president of the chamber, his quote about PD not putting up with the BS down the beach, well, I'd like to ask, where has he and the chamber been? That is the way it always used to be at Hampton Beach all the time, until the Hampton Chamber cabal and its cronies and unelected lobbyists got involved. Hampton Beach used to always give the impression that if you disturbed the peace, you would be dealt with by the enforcers of the law. Luckily, we have Chief Hobbs, and he has done excellent work. The beach coverage over this weekend was phenomenal. But these unelected bodies do not have the authority to influence, and they influence the majority of this board. The elected body, which is the Board of Selectmen, should have the public open discussions about the safety of every resident and visitor in this town. Last summer was unacceptable, and I am probably the only current board member that will admit to that. This board does not lead, this board does what it is told, and it is a travesty to our beautiful community, its residents, taxpayers, and visitors. The reason I would argue for this is because that is what the corner office in Concord and our senator in DC and their agenda push for, and the majority of this board always complies, no questions asked. Also, some members of this current board seem to be under the impression that national politics do not affect our community. Those members, in my view, are arrogantly ignorant in that regard. As far as Concord's neglect at the beach, the state has ignored its property for years. 2015 Labor Day, the lifeguards dealt with a riot, several arrests were made, a report was filed with the Division of Parks, but no action was taken. It was written in September of 2015 by a once then lifeguard employee of the Hampton Beach State Park. 2016 Memorial Day, Hampton police officers were surrounded by a mob while attempting to arrest someone at the Seashell Complex. The state, no action was taken. 2017, syringes ashore and litter. The state, no action. 2018 and 19, zero to minimal state police presence. Allowing the 2020 mayhem set the standard for what is happening right now. June of 2021, a disorderly mob of approximately 500 congregated, many engaged in mutual combat. Our police are there for us, and I know they have the support of this community.
If you could wrap up
there is not enough of them, and we need help from Concord. There has been a pattern of behavior with the New Hampshire State Division of Parks, neglect of everything except taking the money.
Good evening. My name is Gabe Bailey, 12 Bittersweet Lane. Been a Hampton resident at the Village District for almost 2 years now. I'm a former Marine, and I work in the defense industry for over 20 years. I've become accustomed and worked with and among police officers, law enforcement, and the military. I have the utmost respect for our men and women in green and blue, period. The actions that have taken place at the beach are unacceptable, period. We tax-paying citizens do not want to see that happen again. We need to enact community service punishment for these folks. You need to work with the police department, the legal department, and figure out a way to deter these people beyond the legal ramifications. Litter pickup from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. for 12 weeks in the summer would be a great idea. It would cut down on our cost, on your cost. It's time to do something. We're tired. Last year was tiring. We're not going to have it again this year. Speeding. I live on the corner of Bittersweet and Brown Avenue. I have 2 children, 11 and 9. They can walk out on the street anytime. There's 2 speed limit signs on that road. 25 miles an hour is the posted speed limit. I can guarantee you on any day of the week, year-round, 1 to a dozen cars will hit 60 miles an hour from Island Path to Bittersweet Lane. 60 miles an hour. No amount of signs is going to change anything. Enforcement is. Consequences above the legal ramifications. Community service. Say you get caught speeding going 45 into 25 on Brown Avenue. Maybe next weekend you serve as a crosswalk guard wearing a green vest, allowing people to safely cross the street going to the beach with their families. It's only a matter of time, if it hasn't happened already. Somebody's going to get hit, severely injured, or killed. Heaven forbid you don't do anything. It's my children. Do something. The time is now. Work with us, the citizens, to collaboratively come up with solutions to fix this. We're tired of seeing dumb things over and over and over again. Do something. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Christine Heastand. I live on 47 Langdale Drive in Hampton. I've been a resident for 15 years here at Hampton, but I also summered here my entire life. Shame on me, I have really not tuned into what's going on in the town as a taxpayer and citizen of this community. And I'm here to speak about what happened last week at the beach. I have nieces and nephews that work on the beach, and I'm very concerned about the level of violence that was intended to be brought to Hampton, and the mob crowd that decided a fight club would be a great place here at our beach. I want to thank you and the Hampton Police Department for acting quickly and bringing in more police presence. I grew up in this town since I was a child. There's always been police presence at the beach, whether it's on foot, on motorcycles, bicycles, horseback, police cars, and I'm just wondering what's happened to that. The other concern I have is who pays for this? My understanding is that this was a state-owned and operated beach, that they received the reward of the parking and the monies that come into our community from the beach tourist traffic. I'm concerned, my concern is who pays for that? Does the Hampton town of Hampton taxpayers foot the bill for that? And if so, why? So, the other thing I have is the beach trash. Having grown up here my whole life, I did work for the state at one time as a high school kid, and I picked up the trash on the beach. I also drove the trucks. I brought the trash to the dump. I know all too well the job and what's required, and there was many shifts that went on, and it was a very clean operation, and I'm just seeing more and more trash overflow, and it's so early in the season, so I'm wondering what has happened to that service. Has it been cut, some of those services that we once offered, and if so, why? Thank you.
Good evening, my name's Tom. My wife Tracy and I live own 154 and 156 Kings Highway, which are at the foot of 16th Street. And actually, I've been a resident of 154 since 1965. Flooding after a rain on Kings Highway has been an issue for decades, and it's grown worse in recent years. And the worst spot is always at the foot of 16th Street. After a rain like we just had on Memorial Day weekend, the road is flooded for a full block in both directions, and the water can be a foot deep. It makes the road completely impassable to pedestrians, and so they walk through people's private property. This is a safety issue, and it creates liability both for the property owners and the town. Ironically, a recent resurfacing project only made the situation worse. I was told it took 4 or 5 tanker trucks to pump it dry. We do want to express our gratitude to Ms. Hale for being so responsive to our concerns, and we hope that DPW will be able to come up with a solution. Another issue that puts an exclamation point on the flooding is cars speeding on Kings Highway while using it as a throughway. It is a narrow road to begin with, and when it's lined with parked cars on a nice beach day like we just had, there's almost no room for cars to pass and people to walk. And despite this, some people will speed like 40 miles an hour. This is a real safety issue, like the other gentleman said, and it's an accident waiting to happen. And the exclamation point is when they speed through the flooded area, they throw up a wave 10 feet high that soaks everyone and everything. So we would like to ask that for the sake of safety, you consider installing appropriate speed bumps on Kings Highway. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Chairman, Charlie Preston, 47 Glade Path. I just want to talk about the problem we had down the beach there, and I'm not sure if the date was the 26th, but it was 90 degrees anyway. You know, this isn't rocket science. You know, this happens quite often. You know, it's pre-season before our, you know, Hampton police force. They do a great job, but it's before they're up to full staff. You know, this happens over and over and over. In today's world, the meteorology has never been better. When it's going to be 90 degrees, they're coming. The month doesn't matter. It's all got to do with the temperature. There's 5 cities, 3 in Mass, 2 in New Hampshire. You got Lowell, Lawrence, Haverhill. In New Hampshire, you got Manchester, Nashua. Okay, they're all anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour away. They're coming. The amount of money that the state of New Hampshire takes from this town at 9% off every food, every beverage, you know, every room, every cottage, motel, well, you figure out how much, but of course, that's a big secret. We can't find out, you know, what the room and meals are. Long before the Hampton Beach Area Commission had Dr. Lawrence Goss, I wrote to Stanley Arnold. We're talking probably in the mid-'80s, you know. This is on the state. You know, this isn't rocket science. We need more people down here, more state presence down here on any day that it's 90 degrees. It doesn't matter what month of the year it is. They get so much money that we deserve it. It shouldn't be coming on us. Our police do a great job, but they need help when it's something like this happening. Thank you very much.